Well, there's always an odd feeling when club football takes a back seat, but I dare say this is different with the Miami Open, and the warm-up friendly games are not excluding the All-Africa games. The twist is beautiful as the action never stops. Even after missing out on the Nations Cup, with the news filtering in from the games event, Nigeria is rising like the phoenix every step of the way. Ramadan Karim to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Welcome to Sports Update on TVC Breakfast Saturday. She's always here with me, Toyosi Adebanjo. What's good? I love this popular sentence.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I understand the feeling, yeah. Club football, once it's out of the way, everybody's just,
boring.
laid back and all of that. But from the look of things, it appears there's still a whole lot to look out for.
Yeah, Africa is doing us proud.
Amazing.
We're doing well.
Okay.
All right. Content, everything.
Let's hit the first story. Now, Andy Murray wrote on a TV camera to declare his message to the world after beating Matteo Berrettini at the Miami Open. There is life in the old dog yet. The former world #1 pulled off an impressive comeback victory to reach the second round of the Miami Open before writing on the courtside camera. He has had plenty of joy in Miami since making his debut 18 years ago, winning in 2009 and 2013, and is dreaming of one more shot at glory on his swan song appearance. Now, Toyosi, the Miami Open appears to be, having a bit of some kind of beautiful twist right now.
Yeah.
I saw Murray come back from that set down.
Yeah.
And what I saw was a very resilient individual who is saying, I know I've been in this game for a while. I know people have written me off.
Yeah.
But there is still life left to do this.
They say form is temporary, class is permanent.
Absolutely.
So we can also use that for tennis players. Because when you bring the likes of Federer, Nadal, no matter how much or how old they are, when it comes to experience, it will always play a part. And that's why Andy Murray, this guy has won Grand Slams before. He's been there, he has shrugged shoulders with the likes of Rafael Nadal, Federer, and even Novak Djokovic. We know that he has had his fair share of injury problems. I think from the back injury, constant back injuries, spine injuries, his waist, then the knee and everything.
He's had a lot.
No, he has had a lot, trust me. For someone like him, if it were to be me, I would probably just hang up my racket and be like, I've had enough. I'm tired. I can't continue to put my body through this anymore. But it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back and trying to, it will get knocked out early stages, early round, but it's just there. And shout out to even Serena Williams' young elder sister, Venus, too. When you look at her, I'm like, sometimes I make a joke, I'll be like, sister, what are you still doing?
Just rest.
Just rest. Is your body not paining you?
Yeah.
But this guy is there doing it no matter what. This is what they live for. Sometimes some of them may just sit at home and not enjoy themselves if they are not playing these games.
I was going to say that. I think from what I understand with these old dogs is the more they see younger, aspiring athletes coming up, they feel they still have a lot to offer.
Yeah, the excitement comes in and be like, when I was young, who are you?
Exactly.
So I understand. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, remember when he was getting into that twilight age and reality was setting in. And he started feeling, this doubt comes in.
Started feeling disconnected.
Yes, started feeling disconnected. The doubt came in and people are talking like, Ronaldo is not good again, Baba, you don't and he's like, no.
And Ronaldo gets really angry sometimes.
So these things get to them. It gets to, even in every profession, in every sphere of life, it gets to you that you're getting old. Somebody younger and better is coming up to do what you used to do. So I understand it. For Andy Murray, kudos to him. He's doing so well. Lovely comeback for him. Let's see how far I can go with the Miami Open. But
all right, before we veil from tennis now, are the regular names going to be doing the dominance again? Because we understand that tennis can be very, very tricky with some, names not really pulling off as they should. But do you think we might have some new names coming up to upstage whatever event might be happening as the, as the second?
Those new names. So if you move on from the big three, Federer, Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and then you would have maybe the likes of Tsitsipas, Medvedev, Zverev, and before mentioning Carlos. Carlos came into the scene 2-3 years ago, but look at him. He's the one that is now,
You have to mention his name.
I'm not saying I won't mention him. I'm mentioning him now because these guys did not do it. This Zverev, Dominic Thiem, you're looking at Medvedev.
They showed promise, but they weren't really.
Yannick Sinner, you're expecting them to, but you see them get to the final and then they bottle it. You see them get to the final, they bottle it. You see them get to the semi-final, they bottle it. But Alcaraz has come into this scene and like, okay, it looks like you guys are not ready to take on this mantle that these guys are passed to you guys. I would do that for the sake of culture, tennis culture. and he has won Grand Slams. He has even defeated Novak Djokovic. I'm not saying any of these guys have not, but in terms of, putting it up there and being like, okay, this one looks more promising, I think it's Carlos Alcaraz for me.
For real.
And it's so obvious from the Indiana Wells Open where he defeated Medvedev in the final too. So it is.
All right, so let's move on to our next story now. Egypt is presently leading the medal ranking table of the ongoing All-African Games in Ghana. As of last night, Egypt was still leading the medal standings through the impressive displays across various events, notably table tennis, swimming and wrestling. The North Africans maintain the #1 position with a total of 187 medals, 99 gold, 46 silver and 42 bronze so far, while Nigeria 47 gold, 33 silver, 41 bronze medals after clinching bronze medal in the women's 100-meter race and gold medal in the women's 4x100-meter relay. Nigeria's Olayinka Olajide will aim for another podium finish at the All-Africa Games in Ghana after winning her women's 200-meter semi-final heat and qualifying for the final. So we're going to be having a Zoom guest, hopefully. We just hope he connects quickly because he was actually very, very upbeat with what's happening in Ghana. Now, from the All-Africa Games so far, just drop a pointer before I hit my Zoom guest.
Shout out to Nigeria. We're doing so well. Yes, from the 200 meters relays and everything, the hurdle. I saw the last hurdle and it was fantastic. The comeback. Also, Esebrume, Tobia Muson. They are doing very, very well. Absolutely. I think we came second when it came the shot put.
Absolutely.
The lady with the shot put. And I felt for her because you could see her countenance. Like she wanted to even get the gold, and we're doing so well. Trust me.
All right, we have Tayo Gunshe online right now, and he's about to connect with us. Tayo, good morning. Finally, we got it. Can you hear us? Okay. All right, can you just unmute yourself a bit?
Okay, I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. All right, Tayo, I know you've been following the All-Africa Games, right? I want you to take us through the whole overview of what your impressions have been with Nigeria's performance. Nigeria lost out on the Nations Cup, and it seemed like the team at the All-Africa Games are trying to make us forget that situation in a hurry. So give us an overview of some of the sporting events and how you felt Nigeria really performed in those moments.
The 13th African Games, it's Africa Olympics, if you want to call it that. Well, that is a multi-sport event that has over 53 countries from Africa competing for medals and honors. And from Nigeria's perspective, we actually attended this championship with over about 358 athletes. And that's higher than what we had in 2019 in Morocco when we took about 311 athletes there. And don't forget that this particular one, we had more team events. We had, in 2019, there were the men and the women's football. We also had this particular one, we had cricket, we had handball, we had a few other team events which hosted the Tigers. But then, if you want to look at the type of the medals we have won in terms of gold, 47, a little gold, just one gold ahead of what we got in 2019. You would say that we have done better. But the beauty about this particular edition of the African Games is that we saw new faces of those athletes who actually did well, winning gold medals in athletics, in weightlifting, in wrestling. And when you take all this into perspective, you might want to take a peep into what could come up in Paris in July at the Summer Olympics. So overall, Nigeria has been able to do well. Maybe we didn't. If you want to look at football, the men were unable to win any medal, or like what they did in 2019. They got silver, but the women also were also unable to defend the gold they won as the Falconet in 2019. They won silver this time around. So overall, it's a good. You can say it's a good two sides of a coin, good or bad, but the lights are looking positive. If I want to conclude on that.
All right, I think I have a bit of an issue with South Africa dominating in swimming, which I don't really, I can't contest that. But when you look at Nigeria, and you expect that we have riverine areas where supposedly people, young stars who actually are born around those environments. Why is there no effort to actually get these athletes from those areas, you know, to groom them to actually compete in swimming? We can't have Nigeria covered by, you know, much part of it by water, and yet we can't have people competing and giving us medals in that area. I mean, what do you make of it?
Yeah, the question you asked now has been on the lips of many after every African Games, even the Olympics. Because you look at, we have a body of water around us, but then we are not producing the kind of winners. But if you want to look at swimming properly, Egypt and South Africa, they have a huge history in this sport.
Absolutely.
And it wields so much medals, about 46 medals, over almost 100 medals. And that is where the strength of Egypt and South Africa comes into in this particular event. But for Nigeria, we've not been deliberate. I have to confess to you, about 5 years ago, about 5 or 6, 7 years ago, if I could recall, the pool at the National Stadium was revived. You know, in terms of facility, we don't have it. It was revived and it was handed over to a private investors to manage. It's not a place where people go to enjoy themselves. But then, if you want to ask, are we deliberate, or is the government or sports ministry actually deliberate in getting medals from this athlete? My big answer is no.
All right, I understand that. Before I let you go, boxing also had some very, very promising medals too. And are you seeing some life being, you know, injected into boxing with what you've seen at the African Games so far?
Boxing has always been there. Remember that whenever we go into any multi-sport competition, boxing, weightlifting, and wrestling, these are the sure, maybe athletics, these are the sure areas we are bound to get medals. So for Coach Anthony Kenyegachi, the head coach who has been there for ages now, for Nigeria, if you want to look at the experience that they've taken there, young athletes like, I would love to try and recall our name now. Young boxers who actually featured in this one, they actually went there to get experience, and one of them got a gold medal. So, and from what we have seen, maybe we've not done enough, but then there is always room for improvement. Coach Anthony Koyegwachi, the national coach, he's been there. He's been, you know, there have been lack of championship here and there in Nigeria, but he's always been doing his best whenever he is, even from his base in Plateau and Jos, to get this talent to represent Nigeria wherever the opportunity presents itself.
All right, thank you. It's been a remarkable time. But before I let you run away, quickly, Nigeria played Ghana yesterday, and the scoreline was 2-1. And do you think it's too early to start drumming support for Finidi George to take over the Super Eagles team?
Well, it might not be too early, but the opportunity presented itself to Finidi George. He's the front runner in among the candidates, and fortunately, he was part of the team at the Nations Cup the Nations Cup we had in Abidjan. I was there, and he is kind of bonded with the team. And for the NFF to have given him this opportunity, is more like a continuity transition because Joseph Estero left. It's an opportunity for him to get there. And I want to believe that the Ghanaians, for them, let me just speak about the match briefly. For them, it's another loss for them against the Super Eagles. When I was coming back from Accra, from the African Games, the policemen along the way, even the citizens, they always have this edge whenever they hear Nigeria. They always want to kind of put it in your face that they want to take something from Nigeria. But yesterday's victory definitely still something for Nigeria over Ghana.
Tayo, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you, and we hope that when we call on you again, you would actually pick our call. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, appreciate you. Now, Tuyos, it appears the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana just never go away. Even if it's a friendly, these guys are always ready to put something on the mark. Now, from what you saw yesterday, even though I know that Mohamed Kudus did not feature for Ghana and Victor Osimhen also didn't feature for Nigeria, we had some star players not really featuring. Do you think this friendly match is even enough to measure any yardstick at all?
Come on, if we can use that to criticize the Super Eagles in terms of friendlies. Remember, we were not doing too well in friendlies before the AFCON. We lost most of our friends. I think we had just one draw in how many games in friendlies. You know, against Portugal, we lost woefully. Against Guinea, we lost as well. Even that, I think that was the game, the warm-up match before the AFCON, you know. But just like he said, it may not be the best way to start, you know, crying out and being like, oh, great performance, wonderful. But the opportunity has presented itself for Finidi George, and I'm sure he's grabbing it with both hands.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have a choice right now.
I understand, but I have a problem with this coaching crew. What is wrong in having to have ex-Super Eagles stars come together to lead the team? You have Finidi George available now. You have Emmanuel Munike available. Yeah. You have a Guavon there. We know Siasia has an issue. He's not in the running. Why can't we have ex-Super Eagles come together to lead the Super Eagles? Is it not possible to have it? Because, I mean, everybody has their own area of strength.
Yes, we're not saying it's not possible, but it's not every ex-player that makes a good coach. You have players who have won.
But at least we have some in the running now.
Yes,
Amunike has done great well in Africa.
Look at
his CV can speak for itself.
In England, you have the likes of Michael Owen and co. These guys are good when it
These
comes
are
to
pundits.
punditry. Yes, they're good with punditry.
Absolutely.
And then some of them coaches. Some people, it's just what they can analyze from now to tomorrow. Put them on the sideline. They cannot. Thierry Henry, we tried it with Thierry Henry for Belgium, in the MLS, you know, in Monaco. He didn't have success.
Thank you.
So I think that's just it.
All right, that's just it. That's about all we can take on Sports Updates on TVC Breakfast.